Welcome to the Hypothalamic Amenorrhea Podcast. I'm Danny Sheriff, your host, certified fertility awareness practitioner, functional nutrition counselor, and founder of the HA Society, and of course, an HA recovery coach who has walked where you currently are walking. This is the place to come if you care about getting your period regularly. This podcast aims to educate, inform, and keep you motivated on your period and HA recovery track. So let's dive in. But last thing, nothing on the show should be taken as medical advice, so please seek the advice of your physician. Y'all, we have been trying to record this for like 30 minutes. So here we go. Take 580. Hey, did you know that we support people with HA, low progesterone, anovulation, short luteal phases, and all of the types of challenges that come up with infertility?
Danny and I are practitioners that have helped hundreds of women beat HA, regain fertility, and get pregnant naturally.
We are here to break the status quo of spending tens of thousands of dollars on IVF treatments for women who have issues that can absolutely be solved naturally.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. So we do this with our signature program that restores ovulation to regain healthy menstrual cycles. And if you're ready, get pregnant completely naturally.
On top of our one-on-one sessions, our fertility program even includes a styling session with Samantha Dawn, who is a body positive stylist. She's also our personal stylist.
Yes.
And an expert in helping you to dress your new and nourished body.
This is so important that we don't even need to convince you on how important this is. We want you to relearn how to nourish your body, claim your fertility, and feel confident in your clothes as your body changes. It doesn't have to be painful.
No, yeah, exactly right. It doesn't have to be painful. With a little bit of guidance and support, you can absolutely do this. So if getting your cycle back and if feeling good about the process, if getting pregnant naturally is something you want to do, if you don't want to spend tens of thousands of dollars on medical treatment for something that you don't have to, we have just the place for you to go. So go to the hasociety.com/coaching to learn more about who we are, what we do, and apply today.
Yeah, we look forward to supporting you.
That was good. Do you like that one?
Yeah, I do like that one. That one's way more us.
Yeah, boom. There you go. Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm recording a video for you guys on diagnosing HA. I've done this before, but I want to do it a little bit differently. More about just, do you need a medical professional to diagnose you with HA? And this isn't a yes or no. I'm just going to talk about like what we see and how ways that you can consider whether or not that's a route you want to take. When we do consult calls with people for coaching, so you can work with us, right? Fill out an application, and then we'll send you the option to just straight discuss coaching. Do you want to be a client, like straight out the gate? Or we'll do a pre-consult with people where they just pay $80. We take them through our intake process. We look at their lab work, all that kind of thing, give them feedback on their diagnosis and maybe even a strategy to move forward. Then if they do want to work with us to move forward in that process, we'll like take the $80 off their coaching fee and so on and so forth, and we'll move on our way. And in that process, we come across a lot of like, I'm not sure I want to take this recovery route until I know for certain this is HA, right? And that's fair enough. The thing is, it's not really that hard to know if you have HA. So what we do find too is some people have already got like lab tests that confirm it or something like that, but they've heard like one piece of contradictory information, maybe from a medical professional, and they can't let it go because to take the process of resting more and eating enough, gaining weight to get their period back is such a huge, I know I sound like being sarcastic with this, but you guys know I've been there too. right? I totally get it. But making that decision to eat more and rest is such a huge commitment. It's like getting a bone marrow transplant. It's like a huge decision that some of us will go to the end of the earth to find out exactly if this is HA before you're willing to even try recovery, right? And so certainly before people are willing to invest money in our program, and that totally makes sense. I think that that's fair. They want to get help from the right practitioner before they like invest the money and go down that path. So when we do our consults and we have our new clients, we look at the lab work that they may get from their practitioner. And some people won't always get lab work. And that's okay. We can usually figure it out. Having lab work helps us be 110% sure. Without lab work, generally we can be 100% sure of what's going on for the most part. And then there's a few people where it's a bit like, oh, maybe you're actually dealing with some kind of PCOS or a situation with both. It can get a bit more complex, but that's what the calls are for, right? So a lot of people, including the internet, will be like, get medical professional's advice. Totally agree. Full disclaimer, I'm not a medical professional, like I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you what to do. But here's what we see. We see a lot of poor help and information from a lot of different practitioners in the medical field. Some of them are on top of it. More and more we're coming across practitioners, GPs, OBGYNs, these people who are aware of HA. But more often than not, they're just confused. Well, man, your BMI is totally perfect. Doesn't make any sense. You don't look like you have HA. Your lab work is all coming back normal, blah, blah, blah. You don't have HA. You probably have PCOS or unexplained infertility, or just like, I just don't think your period is missing because you're over-exercising. It's probably something else. You're probably fine. You're about to ovulate. Look at your lab work. Even though you're not about to ovulate, your lab work always looks this way. We see a lot of that, so it's not helpful, right? And so to say like your medical professional when it comes to HA should have the last say, I'm just not there, guys. I can't do it. I can't advocate for it. I just can't say that your doctor is the best at determining your diagnosis because that's not what I've seen in practice. That's just not our experience. So, hello. I know that most of you are listening to this show kind of still on your journey to recovery, and that's great. But there are many of you who have been impacted by your journey to the extent that you are considering becoming an HA coach, or maybe you are, because we honestly do see a lot of these. Maybe you are a doctor, maybe you are a personal trainer, maybe you're a nutritionist who has struggled with this, who's looking to bring more HA support into their practice now that they see how prevalent this issue is. And so, of course, we started the Holistic HA Practitioner Certification, and we do get a lot of questions about like, how do you build such a practice and what's important to know before even considering taking this certification and things like that. And that's a good question. So if you're looking to build a practice or take your practice to the next level with HA coaching, or just become an HA coach, we are running a free training on September 5th called Empowering Women's Health, Understanding and Addressing Hypothalamic Amenorrhea. And we're going to dive into the world of women's health and focus on this honestly really misunderstood condition, if you will, of HA, and figure out how to work it into your career or existing business. We're going to go through a few topics. We're going to cover the problem that needs to be solved in this world, like why HA is such an issue that needs coaches. And we're going to go through demystifying HA, the role of practitioners in this space. We're going to go over the holistic approach to HA management. We're going to talk about becoming a certified HA practitioner and the business and impact piece that can be so life-changing, not just for you, but all of the people that you potentially will work with. And of course, we'll do Q&As at the end and all of that good stuff. If it's something that you're interested in, just head to thehasociety.com/coach training to register for the event on September 5th at 10 a.m. Central Time. All right, on with the show. You can go to your doctor, but be aware that they might get it wrong. But it's helpful to get the lab work, so get it anyways, right? And then you can bring it to a practitioner. You can take that lab work to like us, and we'll review it and tell you what it is, right? We'll look at estrogen, progesterone, LH, FSH, prolactin, just to like rule out hyperprolactemia or something like that. And you know, some other markers can be helpful too, like fasting glucose, HA1C. But for the most part, those reproductive hormones, estrogen, progesterone, LH and FSH are going to be like really, really helpful for helping us see, are you low, are you normal, are you low normal, or is everything elevated, right? And if it is all low or normal and you have not had a period like for a year or more, we can stop talking about PCOS. We can stop talking about these other things. You resonate with the stories we're telling you. You have a history of exercise, you have a history of controlling your weight, you have a history of dieting, you're highly strung, perfectionistic, type A, yada yada. We can just like face the fact at this point that we have the labs to resolve it. We have all of the symptoms that go with it. You know, we just like this makes sense for us. We can just go with it at this point. You know, that's kind of all you need, is to see those numbers and whether or not they match up with the reference ranges inside of HA. And if you're in the HA Society, if you're a member of our community, you will have access to those reference ranges and ways to kind of look at whether or not you have HA. Or you can do a consult with us to figure it out. But I just wanted to share that with you if you're on the fence about like is this HA, is this not situation. And I have other videos about like PCOS versus HA, getting your diagnosis, things like that. We have tons of resources for it. But it's just important. It's just important that you know that like with this topic, the medical field doesn't have it down yet. They're not ready, and that's okay. We have compassion for this, right? They're not trained in it. They're not seeing it. Where in a world where it seems like the bigger problem is actually obesity, not girls being too healthy. This is just confusing. It's totally confusing. It makes sense that it's confusing and that it's not where most doctors go. When 9 out of their 10 clients are dealing with the result of living, you know, sedentary, highly processed food-based lives, you know what I mean? Then you come in and you're totally throwing them for a loop, right? So we get it. We have to take that context into account. We have to be compassionate and know that not all of our doctors are going to fully understand what it takes to get this diagnosis, that anyone can have this, even if you're a normal body weight, even if you don't have an eating issue, you know, these things. These are really important to remember if you're trying to get your diagnosis. I hope this was helpful, guys. If you have any questions about your diagnosis, please let me know. And remember again, you can chat with us. You can send us your lab work. Or you can just go through our intake process where we really ask you a lot of questions to understand how you're eating, how you're exercising, your history, to help you get to the bottom of like, is this the right path for me? Is this actually my issue? We can do all that. So I have links in the show notes to work with us in a coaching capacity or join the HA Society, which is our kind of community where we group coach and you have direct access to us. You can ask questions through the DMs and things to me and our other coaches. So it's really cool if you just have like a question here or there. So go learn about that. It's all in the show notes below. If this was a helpful episode for you, amazing. I'm so glad. Let's talk soon. Let me know in the comments and like and subscribe because it brings me joy. Because it brings me so much joy. Okay. Bye, guys. This episode is brought to you by Grassland Nutrition beef liver capsules. Did you know that in terms of nutrient density, beef liver actually blows vegetables and fruits out of the water? If you're a client of mine, you have already been instructed to eat beef liver either fresh or in capsule form. I recommend it for anyone and everyone who is, of course, dealing with amenorrhea and fertility challenges out there, but I may even recommend it for just everyone in general. Get your husbands on it, get your partners on it. If you have a history of HA and add on top of that maybe a history of the pill, maybe you've been pregnant before, through treatments or other, your body's been through anything, you're absolutely 100% dealing with a nutrient deficiency of some kind. And while it's true that testing is going to be the best way to understand those exact deficiencies, eating nutrient-dense, real food is going to be one of the most important next steps that you take with or without testing. So I've been using and recommending Grassland Nutrition beef liver capsules for years now. And the capsule form makes it so easy to get your liver in every day. And I appreciate the transparency of this product in particular above others. So in case you're wondering, it's completely natural. This is freeze-dried beef liver in capsules. It's organic, it's made from Australian beef, and my favorite of their products is the liver with kelp because of the iodine from the kelp, which is important for overall thyroid function, which is often low in women with underperforming hormones. So rather than eat seaweed snacks every day, I get to take this beef liver with the kelp for my iodine. So if you're recovering or working on a fertility journey right now, do not skimp the nutrient-rich source of beef liver. Get 10% off your order with the HA Society and support your favorite podcast along the way. They ship to most countries, so you should be covered. Just go to grasslandnutrition.net and use HA Society, just HA Society, at the checkout for the 10% off. That's grasslandnutrition.net with the code HA Society. Thank you so much for listening today, guys. Please subscribe to the podcast, and if you could head to iTunes specifically and leave a rating or review, that would help so much because it makes it easier for other people with HA who are Googling around to find the podcast really easily. So if you do that, you're doing a service to all of the women